Instacart is on a mission to have you not leave the couch this basketball season. Because between the pre-game rituals and the post-game interviews, it can be difficult to find time for everything else. So let Instacart take care of your game day snacks or weekly restocks and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because we hear it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. So download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders and 14 days, excludes restaurants.
Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Out here, it's not only the amazing views, but the way time stretches out a little longer. How laughter bellows louder among friends, and how the breeze hits just right at the summit. With All Trails, you can discover and experience the best of nature, with over 450,000 trails worldwide and navigation right at your fingertips. Find your outside with All Trails. Download the free app today and find your next outdoor adventure.
Doors closing.
Morning, Allie.
Morning. You ever have one of those nights where you're technically asleep, but it feels like you just fought in a war with your own dreams?
Every Sunday before a staff meeting.
This is Oakland. Now this is a Blue Line train to downtown and O'Hare.
All right, place your bets. What's our weirdo quota today?
We already hit mine at 3:03 a.m., so we're off to a strong start.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots and passengers, lend me your ears and open your minds. I bring you the truth that your media overlords won't dare to broadcast. The President of the United States is not who you think he is. No, my friends. He is a shape-shifting extraterrestrial from the Gliese 581 star system. The man you see on television is merely a projection. The real creature? A 12-foot mollusk with glowing blue eyes and a fondness for jazz fusion.
Finally, someone willing to tell the truth.
Wait, I thought he was the lizard person from Alpha Centauri.
And that's why the Rose Garden was replaced with synthetic seaweed. Wake up, people.
You should have brought popcorn.
No kidding. I'd pay good money to watch this guy debate the zombie insurance guy.
This is Tales from the Blue Line by Auditory Anthology.
Okay, I've got a story for you today. It's a little claustrophobic.
Oof. I love that for my commute. Go on.
It's about a guy who lives in one of those old apartment buildings downtown. Gets a notification about a package in the lobby and decides to go down the stairs instead of taking the elevator.
Reasonable so far.
So when he does, he never makes it to the lobby or any other floor. Just stairs. Nothing but stairs forever.
Okay. That's creepy.
It only gets worse from there.
It had been an uneventful Thursday night. Elliot sat slouched on his couch, a faded Bears hoodie hanging loosely off one shoulder, half watching a rerun of a sitcom he'd seen a dozen times. The microwave beeped in the kitchen, and he peeled himself off the cushions to retrieve his reheated pasta. Outside, the wind rattled the windows of his fifth-floor apartment, and the occasional honk from the street below filtered through the glass. Typical Chicago night. He scrolled through his phone as he ate, barely tasting the food. Text notifications, a weather alert for flurries overnight, a grocery store coupon he wouldn't use. Just as he was rinsing out his dish and debating whether he had one or more episodes of energy left in him, a new notification pinged. Your package has been delivered. Now available for pickup in the lobby locker. Elliot blinked. He had forgotten he ordered something. Probably the phone case he impulse bought last week. He considered leaving it until morning. It wasn't urgent. But something about the idea of checking it off his mental to-do list gave him a small jolt of purpose. He slipped on his sneakers and headed for the door. He left his phone on the kitchen counter to charge. No need for it. He was just going downstairs. As he stepped into the hallway, he noticed the elevator light was stuck on 12. He hit the button anyway and waited. Nothing. He hit it again, slightly harder this time. Still nothing. With a sigh, he turned toward the stairwell. "Fine," he muttered. "5 flights won't kill me." He opened the heavy stairwell door and stepped inside. It closed behind him with a sharp metallic click that echoed off the concrete walls. The stairwell was just like he remembered, gray, utilitarian, dimly lit. He stared down, shoes squeaking faintly on the rubberized steps. One flight down, he hit the landing, turned at the switchback, and descended again. He expected to find the lobby door waiting at the next landing. Instead, another set of stairs. He frowned, but kept walking. Another landing. Another switchback, more stairs. No doors, no signs, no lobby. Elliot paused at the 4th landing, one hand on the railing. He looked around, expecting to see the familiar beige door that led to the building lobby. Instead, he found nothing. Just the same dull concrete walls and another set of stairs leading downward. He turned, slowly, retracing his steps back up to the last landing. He squinted at the space where the 4th-floor door should be. Still nothing. No door, no signage, not even the typical dented metal placard that said 4. Just more stairs, up and down, each landing identical to the last. A chill crept down his spine. He descended another level, then another. By the 6th landing, Elliot had stopped checking for the lobby. It wasn't there. He ran his fingers along the wall, searching for a seam, a doorknob, anything that might indicate an exit. The surface was cold and featureless. The air felt heavier now, as if the oxygen was thinning just slightly. He wiped sweat from his brow, not sure when it had started forming. He turned around and went back the way he came, hurrying up the steps this time, breath growing short. 1 landing, 2, 3… Still no doors. Still just switchbacks. Still just more stairs. He stopped, gripped the railing. His legs were starting to tremble, not just from exertion but from something deeper, something crawling up his spine that whispered this wasn't just a weird building layout. This was wrong. "I'll just call someone," he muttered, reaching into his pocket, only to realize he hadn't brought his phone. It was still on the counter in his apartment. So were his keys, his wallet. All he had was his hoodie, the sneakers on his feet, and the vague memory of reruns and leftover pasta. He sat down on the next landing, trying to think. The silence pressed in around him like a weight. He couldn't hear anyone above or below. No footsteps, no echoes of doors opening, no sounds at all. It was like he had slipped out of the world entirely. He stood again, slower this time, and continued walking. Down, up. It didn't matter. He tried both. He counted steps, he skipped landings, he turned and ran back the way he'd come. The result was always the same. Stairs, switchback, stairs. An endless loop with no exit. After what felt like hours, Elliot's legs gave out beneath him, and he slumped against the wall, dizzy and exhausted. His mouth was dry. His thoughts drifted toward ridiculous explanations. Maybe he'd had a stroke. Maybe he was in a coma. Maybe he was dead. But that last one didn't feel like a joke. He didn't know how long he sat there, breathing in the scent of dust and concrete, before he heard it. A door creaked open above him. Then the soft, unmistakable sound of footsteps coming down. The sound of footsteps echoed softly from above, unmistakable, steady, and calm. Elliot sat frozen on the landing, straining to listen. They weren't hurried or panicked. Whoever it was, they weren't lost. They were descending with purpose. He stood, unsteady at first, and backed slightly against the wall, unsure whether to call out or hide. "Hello?" he finally said, voice cracking. The footsteps stopped. Then a voice answered, smooth, patient, almost friendly. "There you are." A man appeared on the landing above. He wore a black suit and a gray tie, his posture perfect, his hair neatly parted like he'd just stepped out of an old photo. He carried a small leather-bound notebook in one hand and glanced down at Elliot with the expression of someone spotting a long-overdue appointment. "Elliot, right?" he said, stepping down another few stairs. Elliot blinked. Yeah?" The man nodded. "Sorry about the wait. You weren't supposed to be here this long. My assistant was supposed to come get you, but, well, let's just say he's easily distracted." Elliot's brain struggled to keep up. What? Who are you? Where am I? What is this?" The man extended a hand. "Name's Peter. I'm what you might call a facilitator." Elliot didn't move. Peter gave a small, understanding smile. "You're in the in-between. The stairwell is just your mind's way of processing it. Some people get tunnels, some get beaches, you got stairs." Elliot stared at him. This isn't real." Peter raised an eyebrow. "You think it feels real because it is, but it's not the kind of real you're used to. You died tonight, Elliot." The words landed with an impossible weight. Elliot shook his head. "No, I didn't. I was going to get my package." Peter gave a small sigh, flipping through his notebook. "Unit 5C, correct?" "Yes, slipped on a loose rug near the stairwell door. You hit your head. Quick, you were already gone by the time your neighbor opened her door." Elliot staggered back a step, reaching for the railing. This is some kind of dream." I get that a lot," Peter said gently. "But no, you've been trapped here for hours, Elliot, stuck between where you were and where you need to go." A pause. Then, "That's why I'm here." As he spoke, something shimmered behind him, just past the next landing, on a wall that had been blank before. A door had opened. Not like the others in Elliot's apartment building. It was old, wooden, with a brass handle and a warm glow leaking out from its frame. It looked like it belonged in an old study or a cathedral, not a stairwell. Peter stepped aside and gestured toward it. "It's time." Elliot didn't move at first. "What's on the other side?" Peter shrugged lightly. "That's not really for me to say. It's different for everyone." Elliot stared at the door, heart thudding. He looked back down the stairs he'd endlessly climbed and descended. Then up, toward the stranger who somehow knew his name. He took a step toward the door. Elliot's hand trembled as it reached for the brass handle. The door felt warm beneath his fingers. Solid, real, far more substantial than anything else in the stairwell. He turned back to Peter once more, searching the man's face for a final answer, some reassurance. Peter just offered a soft nod. "You're not the first to hesitate," he said, "but you made it this far. That's what matters." Elliot took a breath, steadying himself. Then he opened the door. There was no blinding light, no grand choral music, just a slow, golden glow that spilled over the stairwell floor like sunlight through a high window. Warm air touched his skin, gentler than anything he'd felt in hours. He stepped through. And just like that, the door closed behind him with a soft click. The glow vanished. Peter stood alone on the landing, flipping to the next page in his notebook. He sighed. Then, from somewhere above, a faint sound echoed down, the door creaking open. Peter tilted his head, listening. A beat. He tucked the notebook under his arm. With a tired smile and perfect posture, he turned and began climbing.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Epic views, waterfall mists, summit sunsets. It's all better outside. And with All Trails, you can discover the best of nature with over 450,000 trails around the world. Download the free app today and find your next adventure.
Okay, that one actually gave me chills.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's that quiet kind of creepy, I'll be thinking about this at 2 a.m. when I'm walking through the stairwell at the hospital kind of creepy.
You're welcome.
So, did you make that one up, or was it another I heard it from a coworker who swears it's true type of thing?
Well, I mean, the guy died, so it'd be tough for him to tell someone. It's just something I've had stuck in my head for a few months. I started wondering what it would feel like to be caught in the middle of somewhere familiar but just kind of wrong.
Well, mission accomplished. You made stairs terrifying. I hope you're proud.
Hey, stairs are already a threat to people over 30. I just leaned into the existential horror.
All right, Hemingway. Good story. Now I get to spend my whole shift side-eyeing the stairwell.
Just count your landings. If you hit more than 2, bail immediately.
Solid advice. See you tomorrow, Mason.
Bright and early. Tales from the Blue Line by Auditory Anthology is written and produced by me, Keith Conrad. Your narrator is Darren Marler. Be sure to check out Darren's award-winning paranormal podcast, Weird Darkness, available at weirddarkness.com and your podcast app of choice. If you have a story you'd like to contribute to the series, you can visit submissions.soundconceptmedia.com or just follow the link in the show notes. You can also support the show by subscribing to our new Substack at auditoryanthology.substack.com. By becoming a paid subscriber, you'll help keep the stories coming. You'll also get every episode completely commercial-free, and now you can vote on which story will feature in upcoming episodes.
Gone are the nights of fretting over final grades. Now your stress dreams are haunted by the rising cost of education, a telltale sign of parenthood. Luckily, the DC College Savings Plan makes it easy to save for future education costs, so you can stop stressing and start helping your little one achieve their dreams instead. Any savings can grow, tax-deferred, and distributions are tax-free for qualified expenses like tuition for eligible colleges and K-12, room and board, books, computers, and even certain trade and vocational schools or registered apprenticeships. Plus, DC residents get a generous state tax deduction. Friends and family can easily contribute too. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to potentially grow. So why wait? It only takes 10 minutes and $25 to get started. Go to dccollegesavings.com for more information and to open an account. Start saving today and get them closer to achieving their dreams. Not to mention one less thing keeping you up at night. Visit dccollegesavings.com. Subject to eligibility requirements, please read plan disclosure carefully before investing.
This podcast is brought to you by Aura. Imagine waking up to find your bank account drained, bills for loans you never took out, a warrant for your arrest, all because someone stole your identity. Hackers aren't waiting. Why are you? That's why we're thrilled to partner with Aura. Your personal data is a goldmine for hackers, and Aura helps lock it down. Aura monitors the dark web, blocks data brokers from selling your information, includes a VPN for private browsing, and a password manager to secure your accounts before criminals break in. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day free trial plus a dark web scan to check if your personal information has been leaked, all for free at aura.com/safety. That's aura.com/safety to sign up and start protecting yourself and your loved ones. That's AURA.com/safety. Terms apply. Check the site for details.